everyone, it's Cass. Welcome back to my channel, What Cass Read. Today we're gonna do my spoiler-filled video for The Final Empire written by Brandon Sanderson. I feel like I just stumbled my way through my spoiler-free review because like I said, at this point it's just like another Mistborn review, really. I mentioned this at the end of the last video. I was super nervous to begin this because so many people love this trilogy and it's like one of people's favorite fantasy trilogies of all time. Like how I feel when people begin the Farseer trilogy, when people get into Robin Hobb for the first time. I feel like people were like nail-biting, waiting for me to get to the Final Empire because they love this book so much. So I was nervous. I didn't even put any of these books in the 5-star TBR prediction video that I filmed a couple months ago. Because even at that point, before I had even begun, I was nervous. I was like, what if I'm one of those people that doesn't love it? Rest assured I loved it. So that fear gone, we're good to go. We have to talk about Kelsier. It's super fresh. I'm not over it. I don't know why I wasn't expecting it, because after finishing the book, I was like, the signs were all there. This rebellion leader who's building up the people to become leaders, who's building up his chosen misting generals, pretty much. He's building up Vin, and he's got his own personal plan, and he's super enigmatic about what he's gonna do when he meets and encounters the Lord Ruler. I don't know why I didn't see that coming, but I'm not surprised. But I'm still hurt about it. I needed to take some time to reflect. I honestly thought that Marsh was a goner, so when Marsh appears at the end of the book, I was like, you have got to be kidding me. Honestly, for like the last 200 pages of this book, I was sitting on my couch reading. My husband is, doing his own thing, he's gaming, and I would just be like, what? Oh my god, I can't even. I was audibly reacting to what I was reading, and he was just laughing at me because it's not often that a book does that to me, to get a verbal reaction, and every single thing that I read for the last 200 pages of this book it was too much. It was so much to handle, and I couldn't put this book down. I have to say that I'm kind of surprised that we defeated the Lord Ruler in book 1. I thought we were just gonna be like this long drawn out battle with the Lord Ruler for 3 books, because I'm a reader of fantasy and usually we don't vanquish the Dark Lord until book number 3. So that makes me think okay, if he was just a pawn in the grand scheme of evil, what is the bigger evil that's gonna carry over for 2 books? I don't know. Because, okay, see, here's the thing. But as I was reading this, the whole time I just kept thinking everything's going so well, it's going well. So at what point is it not going to go well? And I just kept feeling very nervous. I'm like, there's no way this is gonna work. There's no way this is gonna work. Every single new plan that they came up with, I was like, she's gonna get made, she's gonna get caught, there's no way this is gonna work. So it makes me think that because the Lord Ruler was so easily vanquished, everything that they thought was tough is nowhere near as tough as it's going to become. I'm just, again, I have to circle back to Kelsier because I'm just not ready to let him go. I was really attached to the thoughts that he had about his wife. He couldn't betray his thoughts of her, even though he thought that she betrayed him. He just couldn't do that to the love that he had for his wife because he still carried that picture that she had. He still carried on the vision, her vision of the world. And then when they get to their underground camp, and he realizes that he has to climb down, and just kind of that internalized fear, that fear gets brought back up into him from the times that he spent at the pits. He's feeling that PTSD and he's trying to overcome it as he's climbing down. So then when he actually does get to the pits and he destroys them, my mind was just so blown this whole time. I felt so many things for him. Sazed, I don't know how we're supposed to pronounce his name. He was my favorite. It goes Kelsier, then Sazed. Just his little bits of wisdom. His magic was super intriguing to me the whole time. He seems so basic in his magic, but then as you get to know him, he's more complex. He shows up and rescues Vin. He was my favorite, and I cannot wait to see what he has moving forward. And then each and every one of the members of our crew, of our misting crew, I loved them. I grew attached to them even though I didn't think we got that much page time with them. I was just so attached to each and every one of them and their backstories and how they're going to move the rebellion forward and what role they're going to take in the future. And then there's Vin. I mentioned in my spoiler-free review that she wasn't my favorite. As I was reading through her passages, I just didn't feel anything from her. Like, the things that I learned from her were really beneficial, and her point of view, and her little love story was cute, but I didn't feel that much from her. I don't know. I just didn't feel like she was all that present. For me, as a reader, she was just a vehicle for learning about things. So there we go. Yet another Mistborn video on BookTube, but I loved it. I had to talk about it, so whatever you wanted to talk to me about in the comment section below, please go ahead and do that. And you can also find me on my social media now that you know that I've read this book and I've loved it. Please talk to me on social media. I'm on Twitter and Instagram. It's at WhatCastRead. It's the same as this channel. Goodreads, that link is always going to be down below. And of course, you know how these videos end. I'll talk to you later.